Hello, I'm Stephen Farr. I'm the Chief Examiner of the RCO. Welcome to the RCO's A to Z of the organ, and today's letter is U for Urtext Edition. At some stage of our careers, either as a teacher or a student, we will have told someone, or been told by someone else, to use the Urtext Edition. And just looking across to the other side of the room where my bookshelves are, I can see Urtext Editions from at least 3 different publishing houses, spanning repertoire from the 16th century right up to the middle of the 20th. What does Urtext mean? Well, the term is German, and it means literally first or original or primary text. And the first Urtext editions were prepared in Germany in the second half of the 19th century as a kind of musicological response to the increasing rigour of literary, and especially biblical literary scholarship. But lurking behind that basic translation of are some more subtle nuances of meaning, and in German that prefix carries some connotations of something almost mythical, a kind of primal connection to an uncorrupted original source. And if you see Urtext on a score, it's a little bit like a lion mark on an egg. You know that you're safe to eat a soft-boiled preludium as long as you've used an Urtext in its preparation. And one scholar has suggested that an Urtext enshrines the text of a piece as something autonomous and eternally fixed. So it's high-minded stuff with a reassuring layer of inerrancy for the conscientious interpreter. So the practical expression of this is familiar to most of us, I expect. An Urtext edition will have that term emblazoned very prominently on the cover, and inside there will be quite a clean text with plenty of contextual material from the editor and a full account of the source material and the processes that the editor has engaged in sifting that material to arrive at the text on the page. But what does mean when it comes to that text on the page rather than the manner of its presentation? Well, sometimes texts aren't quite what they seem. Editing is always interpretation, and except in a very exceptional number of cases, editors are always sifting and evaluating and comparing a very wide range of source material. Quite a lot of that source material could reasonably lay claim to the status of some kind of original text, but likewise some of that source material might be corrupt or even incomplete. Think Buxtehude, for example. There may be an autograph copy or not. There will be some secondary copies of varying degrees of reliability and accuracy. There may be different print runs. There may be a composer's corrected print, and so on and so forth. If you want to delve into a particularly juicy set of problems, look at the issues surrounding the sources for Froberger's keyboard music. And looking outside the organ repertoire, editing Chopin or Bruckner or Beethoven is littered with traps for the unwary editor. And returning to the organ repertoire, we're probably all fairly familiar with the issues surrounding the source material for the works of Alain. So it can all seem a bit daunting and a long way from the keep tight hold of nurse aesthetic we might have been hoping for. But don't lose heart, because Urtexts are an extremely valuable tool for the interpreter, and we shouldn't undervalue or underestimate the enormous contribution that the principle of Urtext editing has made to our understanding of sources in the last 150 years or so. We just need to use them wisely. Accept that there's rarely such a thing as a definitive text, and to make full use of the editorial material in reaching an understanding of why the text looks the way it does on the page. All of this can bring the interpreter to a deeper understanding of the sources, of the process of composition, and in the end that can only be a good thing when it comes to informing our interpretations. So that's U for Urtext. Thank you for joining me, and look out for the next film in the series, which will be the letter V. Thank you.